to address the issues facing Tennesseans today. From 10 News, this is Inside Tennessee.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. Along with my colleague John North, I'm John Becker, and we are pleased to have you with us on this Sunday morning. Our guest this morning leads a district with more than 65,000 students and staff. It's an unusual district because it has schools that are both urban and suburban, and as well as some rural schools. That is unlike many districts across the state. Now, after 5 years as superintendent, Bob Thomas is leaving that post, and he's also leaving education after more than 40 years. You won't do that until the end of this school year, Superintendent, but it's great to have you with us for just a check on where we are in this school year and a look back at your career. So thank you for being with us. And let me start with the COVID-19 general health question that has really dominated the discussion over the last week. School out the last 4 days last week, not just students but staff suffering from sickness, whether it's COVID-19, the flu, or some other respiratory illness. A lot of parents thought, why don't we just go all virtual like we did before? It's not that easy. You don't have that option anymore. In fact, the state school board stripped you of that power, the Board of Education. Explain the school by school process to get a waiver now and where that process stands.
Okay, thank you, John, and it's great to be with you this morning. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And you're right. We a year ago could make a decision here locally to go virtual, and we did that several times throughout the year. However, as you mentioned, State Board of Education passed some regulations that prevent school districts from doing that. Now, we can apply for a waiver on a school-by-school basis. When I say apply for a waiver, that's to the Commissioner of Education, Commissioner Schwinn. And we state our problem with her, like the number of absences, number of substitutes and things of that nature. And they review that waiver and either give us permission to go virtual at that point, or they deny the waiver. So it's a pretty quick process, actually. I think we've applied maybe 3 times for a waiver. Once even on a Friday afternoon, and we received a response before midnight on Friday. So I know the State Department tries to be real responsive in letting school districts know so we can let parents know. But you're exactly right. The process is much different this year than it was last year.
Bob, on a related topic, recognizing the challenges of trying to hold school when so many people are out, adults as well as children, we've had some questions from folks who wonder, well, school has been out, but athletic activities has still gone on. Could you explain to our viewers why it is that it was still okay to go ahead and continue to hold some games even though we didn't have classes?
Right. And the decision around that is, of course, in our classrooms, we've got our teachers and teacher assistants who supervise students. And with the absences, then oftentimes those classes, and we're not able to get a substitute, oftentimes those classes would be unsupervised. So we've even had opportunities where administrators have tried to hold classes in auditoriums. They may put 5 classrooms in an auditorium, things of that nature, which there are some safety issues involved with that sort of thing. So the decision in terms of athletics, we always try to look at state competitions, regional competitions, district competitions, things of that nature for our students. And our coaches, for the most part, as far as I know, are able to be at practice, are able to be at games. Our students are going to be, if we're not in school, students are, let's face it, students are not going to be at home. They're going to be out and about. So we can provide the supervision through coaches or through band directors or through club sponsors, through choral directors, things of that nature for kids. So we thought that possibly those activities, it would be safe to go ahead and do those activities. Of course, a lot on the athletics in terms of district tournaments and regional tournaments and seeds and so forth for teams. All that's very important, and we want we want our students to try to have those opportunities. Last year, there was some interference with opportunities like that. I know one of our schools had a golf team that did not get to go to the state competition and things of that nature. And those are one in a lifetime situations a lot of times for students, and just they produce memories that lifelong memories actually too for students. So we've tried to look at it, and from the standpoint, if we can adequately supervise our students and our teams or bands or choral groups or whatever, then we made a decision to allow those to continue.
Recognizing that we're talking to you on Sunday morning, I wonder, are you able to look ahead to the week that's coming? Sometimes it seems like with the virus, we're sort of living day to day, but do you have any feel for how the coming week looks?
We met this morning. Our team met this morning and talked about it. I know our grade level directors who supervise our principals at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. They've communicated with each other. Our plan right now is to go to school Monday, so parents will get a message later this evening that says our plan is to return to in-person learning on Monday, provided weather permits, of course. And we do have one school that has applied, or we have applied for a waiver for one of our schools, but we plan to return to in-person learning on Monday morning.
Superintendent Thomas, we're going to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee. Back with more of our questions to you right after this.